And we are live with Omega Dudes episode 2. What's up, guys?
Hey, everybody. So, as if any of y'all didn't already know, everybody in the world, this is the beginning of the end. And therefore, we are here for you. We, the three alphas named Omega. So, how's it going, guys? Y'all doing good?
Yeah, it's going. It's going. Had a little bit of a not very fun week this week. I found out on Sunday morning that my cousin died Saturday night, so kind of sucked. It's been a
Sorry, bro.
tough one. Yeah, it's rough. He was 42. Just didn't see it coming. Just lost my uncle, his dad, about the year before, so it was kind of a blow. So just dealing with that. But I just wanted to take the time to say, Chad, this one's for you, man. Love you, bud. I'm gonna miss you.
Prayers for you guys, man, for sure.
So, but other than that, not too bad. Not too bad. How about you guys?
Speed up.
All right, man.
Well, my
you know,
Thanksgiving's next week, so that's really cool. And my boss and I are pretty tight. You know, we're pretty good friends. Well, last episode, I mentioned talked briefly about Yuengling, how it's my favorite beer. I can't get it out here in Texas.
Yeah,
Can't
which is
get
a
it
shame.
You can't get it anywhere west of Louisiana.
Damn.
You know, it's just sacrilege. You know,
Yeah.
it's horrible. So yesterday, I hate to say it, but it's like I had to come home early because my wife was sick. I had to watch the kid. She was basically in bed all day. But end of the day, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, you know, hey, how's she doing? Blah blah blah." You know, we're just talking back and forth a little bit, and he's like, "Hey." So, friend of mine I went to high school with is he came into the shop today. I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. He was telling me he's getting ready to take a trip out to Louisiana. Now, I say that to preface it with this. A few weeks ago, I gave him one because of, like I said, a customer brought me a 6-pack. It's great, so I shared one with him. He loves it, you know. And the next day, he's like, hey. You can't get this out. You know, I can't find it. Where do you get it?
I was just about to say that is such a terrible thing to do to somebody. Like, hey, try this beer. It's my personal favorite. I think you'll like it too.
Well, it was one of those. He's listened to me talk about it for a year and a half.
Sure.
Finally got my hands on one. I'm like, here, try it. I'm not crazy. I swear. And he loves it. So anyway, the next day he's just like, dude, I can't get this anywhere. I'm like, I told you. The next day, he's like, bro, I was doing some research on this, and did you know this is the 18th ranked beer in the world? I'm like, I don't care, but I told you it was good. Anyway, I preface, I tell you this. So he's like, his friend from high school came in. He's like, hey, man, I'm taking a trip to Louisiana this weekend. And he's just like, ding, ding, ding. Hey, bro. While you're in Louisiana, you think you can pick up like 4 or 5 cases of beer for me?
Oh, yeah, because you said west of the Mississippi, right?
Well, Louisiana and Arkansas, and everything else is to the Mississippi. But Louisiana and Arkansas, you can get it in.
Gotcha.
Literally, as soon as you cross the Texas state line, I've Googled it. It's like Yuengling actually has a website. You can go and you can actually map out the store. As soon as you cross the state line, there are stores that carry Yuengling. You cannot
Yuengling,
get it.
the Yuengling map of where you can get it just says like monsters
Go to their
here,
website.
right in a whole state of Texas.
Yeah, Chaz is like one of those Yuengling Platinum members. He has the card and everything.
I wish I wouldn't have a Yuengling problem then.
Chaz keeps their lights
So
on.
that, gentleman, is how my boss saved Christmas or Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's what's up. Yeah. So how much did you say you were gonna get?
4 or 5 cases.
And how long will that last you?
Me?
4 or
Probably
5 days.
Shut up. No, I don't know, 6, 8 months.
Oh, all right. Nice.
I mean, it's like, I don't drink that much. Come on now.
No, I was just wondering. Yeah, that's good. That's a decent little supply. So yeah, nice.
Yeah, man.
Says the guy who
up.
has to get a new bottle of Captain Morgan every time we do one of these. How about you,
Well,
Parrish? How was your week?
it was all right. I've been I'll be honest. I've been kind of just mulling around or like kind of rolling around, last week's episode and stuff, and there was a couple of things that have just kind of been nagging at me, eating away at me that I wanted to just maybe take a second. This would be a good spot to do it, to just kind of apologize to our viewers, if you will. There was a couple issues that I feel like I should just bring up. For full transparency and stuff. I mean, it's not a big deal.
I get where you're coming from. I mean, I do. If we watch an episode, or if any of you watch an episode, and there's something that we said that might have been taken the wrong way or whatever, it's good to apologize. We don't take ourselves too seriously. So I get where you're coming from, Parrish. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's really like. I'm trying to make us, I just want us to be the best we can be. And I just don't want, we're very, really kind of PC on this, in this podcast. And so there's some things that I wanted to get off my chest. The first one was, I want to apologize to people for Chris's hat last week. We try and be professional here. We try and present ourselves as a fun and entertaining show. And I felt like it was glaringly obvious last week that Chris's hat showed that, I mean, obviously that he was too much of a lazy bones to even brush his hair and do something with it. So I wanted to apologize to the public for that. It really has been on my mind this week. And then also, since I'm bringing that up, also like Chaz, he's got this thing with like comic book movies and like Star Wars, like fiction, fantasy stuff like that it just, I'm going to try and keep a lid on it from now on. I felt like it was just a bit much last week. And so I'd like to apologize to people for that. And hopefully we can move on, learn from this. And yeah, I mean, because I got probably 1,000 emails throughout the week over that, Chaz. I mean, look, it's all constructive, brother. Okay, all constructive.
Well, I will apologize for wearing a hat. And you're right. It's a little unprofessional, I guess. I thought it looked good, though. I thought it made me look cool. If that's not the case, then I apologize. Sometimes it's hard to get my hair to like stay back the way I want it. And when I'm looking at myself, I'm like, I really gotta be the best me I can be. So that's what I was thinking, but I apologize.
Let's just work on it, okay?
On that note, I think that I have a couple other things I'd like to apologize for. I'd like to first apologize for Parrish harshing Chaz about being nerdy in the beginning. I think it was uncalled for. I think Chaz is very passionate about movies and video games, and I just think calling him out like that was a little bit rough, so I'd like to apologize for Parrish. Chaz, as well, spoiled The Mandalorian first episode. I know that we threw out a little bit of a spoiler warning, but someone could have tuned in right after we gave that warning, and it could have just broken their little heart. So I want to apologize for Chad for ruining that for some people. So we're sorry.
Well, I don't apologize, and I want to apologize for the two flannel brothers and your retarded fucking shirts. I mean, did you guys call each other, ahead of time and be like, hey, we got to dress to match. We both got to wear flannel and we got to look special. And I mean, clearly you didn't do it this week because, you got the retard here with the mustache wearing a tie. And you, sir, I'm sorry, but you still don't look cool, Chris. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm an aristocrat. How dare you?
I just want to say that I apologize for going to TJ Maxx and seeing that they had Columbia shirts on sale for $12, I believe, and thinking, wow, this is a nice looking shirt and it's functional. It has UV protection, it's long sleeve, you can roll the sleeves up and it buttons, and it's got a vent in the back, and I live in Florida, so it seems perfect, and I liked it. So I
That's
apologize.
because you don't need long sleeves in Florida, sir.
Yeah,
Sir.
most days,
Sir.
but I would contend that there are some functions, boating, being in nature, that you might want to have long sleeves.
Do you own a boat?
I don't, but I spend a lot of time outside and in nature. So, hey,
Well,
functionality.
I'm glad that we got a chance to just get this off our chest, guys, and kind of cleanse the palate.
Yeah, I agree. I think we needed that. It did a lot of good.
Yeah, we're all gonna work hard and make this thing the best it can possibly be. And since we're obviously we're all this constructive criticism, we will heed it, each of us individually, and move on. So with that, Chaz, you got anything on your mind this week to talk about?
Well, I know I'm like way too nerdy for you, but I did hear that this week. I don't know if you know or not, but Mass Effect happens to be my favorite game of all time.
Mass
And
Effect.
this past November 7th happened to be Mass Effect Day.
Wait,
And-
there's a Mass Effect Day?
Yes, sir, there is. It's November 7th.
I believe it's a federal holiday.
It is. It should be. It will
Now,
be when I'm president.
I do know about the May 4th with May the 4th be with you for Star Wars.
Star Wars Day.
I didn't realize there was I didn't realize
There
that
is a
Mass
Mass
Effect was as much of a cultural phenomena and had the legitimacy of Star Wars to have its own day. But hey, I guess that's what I get for not being plugged in. But I will say this. I respect Mass Effect. I've never played it, but I've heard a lot about it and I've watched some things about it. It looks like a really interesting game and I'd like to play it. So I'm
Well,
not...
You're going to get your chance. They
What?
just announced that they're doing a complete remaster of the original trilogy, and they're going to be releasing it in early to mid 2021.
Ooh.
I am so excited for that'll be like the only reason
Huh.
that I get a PS5 or one of the new Xboxes in the next
Dude,
year.
So
I saw one of those selling
It'll
on,
be
like,
the week that comes out.
I saw one of those selling on the PS5s. I'm sure they're already already all sold out in the stores and stuff. But I saw one selling on, I think it was on eBay for like $1,700. No joke.
yeah, I
Some
believe
people
it
are gonna be-
completely.
You ought
Some
to try
people are
and get
going
your
to
hand
be
on one of
getting
these.
fed.
Is that a
Nintendo
Switch?
Switches?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
So-
those are
so,
going.
hey.
For, I saw one for. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, going back to this Mass Effect thing, because now I'm curious. I just had a couple seconds to mull that over. They're remastering it?
Yes.
So same
So it's the original
same game. Are they adding anything to it, or it's just like a graphics makeover for the new systems?
Complete graphics makeover.
Okay, well that'll be cool still.
They're repackaging it as a new game, you know,
Mhm.
with modern graphics and all the effects and such and gameplay
Sure.
additions that they can add to, you know, here and there. But
Mhm.
essentially, it's the same game. You know, much like they did
See-
with the Final Fantasy games. You know,
Right.
Final Fantasy
Yeah.
7, Fantasy
Right.
10.
Yeah, I know there was a
Uh,
lot of to do about FF7 being re-released or whatever. I know they've
I'm
done
pretty
it with like some Zelda games and things like that
I have
too. Yeah.
So that's strange though. Kind of strange to me, and maybe it's like, well, it's strange to me because I remember when Mass Effect came out, and truly I put about maybe 3 hours into that game, and it was when Chaz and I were roommates. And I think you were into it, but I had an Xbox. So like you bought the game and we played on my Xbox, but like I started playing it and like Chaz was so freaking far ahead of me. I was like, I'm never gonna catch up. This is way too much. And it was because it's so involved. And
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
was
this is too much for me.
what got it for me was that was the first game that that there were 3 games, right, in the original trilogy, obviously, but that took the decisions that you made from the first game and it translated all the way through the entire trilogy. So the decisions you made in the first game had massive consequences and effects in the third game.
A mass effect, one would say.
Exactly.
You might almost call it a mass effect.
That's
your pun game is on point, sir.
It's pretty cool, though. A pretty cool concept. I always thought it was cool back in the day when you'd be the first game I remember this happening in actually was Devil May Cry, which I thought was a cool game for PlayStation
Great
2.
game.
Yeah. But so in the beginning of the game, the simplest of enemies can just kick the crap out of you. But man, when you start upgrading and you're beating the hell out of people, and then at the end you can like turn into this demon and just lay down mayhem. And then you beat the game and you start over at the beginning, but realize you have everything still. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So the fact that nowadays, or with Mass Effect, and I'm sure going forward with other games now that the cat's out of the bag, that you go into successive games in the series with your character's storyline and all that stuff, that's got to be... It's almost like watching a TV series or a movie trilogy or something. You're kind of invested, or reading a series of books. You're really invested in it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the whole... Because, I mean, it's all about the galactic apocalypse. You know, who doesn't like the apocalypse? Apocalypse is everything to do with it's awesome. I mean, you had Armageddon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Deep Impact, all those movies. The Stand. Speaking of which, they're remaking The Stand.
Ooh, that's
That's
cool.
like
all
one of
remakes.
my all-time. That's one of my all-time favorite Stephen King books and movies.
Yeah,
The original movie with Gary Sinise is awesome. I mean, the new one they've got a whole new cast. You know, I mean, I know Rose McGowan's in it. I don't remember who else.
Yeah, I almost
really.
need to. I want to look this up while you're talking. Keep
No,
going.
Don't. I can tell you it's coming out December 17th. No, I hate previews.
No. I'm not looking at a trailer. I just want to see who's in it. That's all. I'm just looking at that.
Yeah, it'll give stuff away. I hate previews. It ruins the show. It ruins the movie. It ruins games. Just tell me it's coming out and whether I should watch it or not.
I like to see things like who's involved, that type of thing, because it kind of gives me an idea of if I'm going to watch it or not. Because for example, and this is perfect, so it's Stephen King related. Dark Tower. That was a movie that was being kicked around for a long time, being passed on studio. You know, I was excited for a long time, and then I heard that, you know what? Finally, it's greenlit. It's going into production, and Idris Elba is going to be the gunslinger. And I'm like, what? And that's not to say,
folks, not to know anything about the gunslinger. The gunslinger does not look like Idris Elba.
And that is not to say that I don't like Idris Elba as an actor. Right. The Wire, fantastic. Awesome. I mean, he's so many movies. Fantastic actor. The British show. What the heck is that show that he was in? Whatever, it was a British TV show.
Ton of stuff, dude.
He was fantastic. I really like him. But King himself describes the gunslinger as looking like a really weathered Clint Eastwood. So, you know, from back in the day with all of his, you know, Western movies, just that sort of look. So everybody already had this idea. People had talked about Hugh Jackman. They'd done picture comparisons, and he looked like he could do the part. And especially with some of these newer Wolverine movies, he looks pretty rugged and beat up. And
he's at the right age.
Yes.
But he's still hard.
Right, like weathered and hard at the same time. So when I heard Idris Elba was the gunslinger, I was like, oh, come on. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh, come on. And I terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Everybody loves Heimdall.
They redeemed themselves with the 2 movies. I thought those were pretty good. Did a good job of conveying the feeling, the eeriness of King. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, cool. We'll see.
If you think that you know, since we're talking about terrifying, terrifying movies and cinema, what's more terrifying than, you know, losing one of your pets? And when you lose your pets, they run away or
That's
something
like
like
a
that.
horror movie cliche too. It's always the
Yeah,
pet that goes
totally.
first.
Cujo.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they come back and they're, possessed, like Pet Cemetery,
Right.
Cujo,
Or cat
or
nailed
Homeward
to the
Bound.
door, or
Homeward
the
Bound.
Yeah,
the horse.
or
Wait, did you say Homeward Bound?
Homeward Bound.
yeah, Homeward Bound. And it's on my mind because I hear that they're making a new Homeward Bound, not as a horror movie this time. Like
I
the
just peed a
original
little.
is terrifying. Well, this is not going to be aimed as a horror movie, but believe it or not, a family movie with hope and joy. Yeah.
So is this like
So-
a remake or a just like another didn't they make like a sequel to it or something, or I don't know.
They might have, but it's
Homeward Bound 2
it's a
was
true
awesome.
story.
Screw
Homeward
you, man.
Bound is a true story. It's like that really happened with the dogs and the cats. So
Wait, it's a true story?
I mean it's yeah, like like it really happened. Some family moved across the United States or something, and Chaz needs a moment. Yeah, did you not know that? Did y'all not know that Homeward Bound was
Are you sure about that?
No. No.
I mean,
It can't.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
Hold on.
dude.
No.
It was. Okay,
hold
here
on.
comes
Yeah.
Chaz fat.
I was gonna say I'm gonna Google this too because I'd like to believe.
I'm calling bullshit.
Chaz says, hey,
Okay, hold on. It's a remake of a remake of a remake of a remake of a book that was based off of a true story.
Based off of a true story with like two dogs and a cat, or just like, because I've heard of pets like return, like someone goes on vacation with their dog and the dog runs away and they can't find it and they have to go home, and then a couple weeks later dog shows up. I've heard of that. Is that what you mean, like inspired by or based on?
Let's see, this website is called Wide Open Pets.
Okay.
One, it's a true story. Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey is actually a remake of another movie from 1963 called The Incredible Journey. The original movie is based off of a book of the same name, which is based off of pets finding their way home in the Canadian wilderness.
Okay, so
All right.
based off of, which isn't
So we're,
okay.
We're at number 3. So it's a story based off of a story based off of a story, which is based off of a story that was based off of a book that was a true story.
Hey,
Okay,
hey, but
so
in,
At this point, it's fiction.
in Parrish's defense,
sorry.
though, I do have to say that the stories of animals finding their way home over like miles and miles it's pretty cool that animals can do that.
yeah, that's cool.
I'm just putting that out there.
But dude, that really annoys me. Like, what? I thought that was. I mean,
Don't get me wrong. I crushed my own childhood dreams here.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of crushing, but that really annoys me that when it's like what is it they say in Hollywood? Oh, inspired by actual events. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, inspired by actual events. It was like a guy killed somebody with a chainsaw once.
Yeah.
That's as close as it is. Like
or
this.
somebody
So,
made
like,
a
this
horror
basically-
movie and it inspired this horror movie because
Yeah.
it did really good at the box office, so
Right.
we got inspired.
So like so you're saying this is basically, so this is inspired by like that happened once. A dog ran away and the people moved and he found them somewhere else or whatever. So it's like so loose. Dude, that's like a major pet peeve of mine. I hate it when they do that in Hollywood because how am I supposed to know like inspired by true events? Oh, so this really happened.
So,
Well,
okay, hold on one second. You just touched on two things that I would like to talk about because, number one, there's been a lot of times that this has happened with these animals finding their way home. I'm just going to put this out there because while you were talking about it, I did a little Google foo. There's sites all over Google that talk about the 15 pets that have made it home, or like this one I found from Wikipedia, Bobby the Wonder Dog. 1921
Wikipedia
to
is
1927. No, wait.
No.
It's got all kinds of information right here, right? This is a dog who covered 2,551 miles on
Good
his
Lord.
own to
Bullshit.
return home,
Chaz,
right?
Chaz,
Right? And then there's another story. Hold on a second. I'm actually going to do this really quick. Let me pull up the old browser here in the bottom window, and I'm going to paste this. If I can make this happen really quick, let's just do this.
Go ahead. Bring it on.
Let's see. Okay, so let me turn off this guy really
Come
quick.
on now.
So here is, you guys can actually see this right now, but it's for everyone that can see the show right now. Here's a dog that returns home after 10 years after running away. Look at this cute dog. This is on
Is it Michael J. Fox? Did he go back in time?
No.
Was he in Back to the Future? Did he change all our lives?
Jeez,
No, it doesn't even matter. This is a beautiful dog, a family that was probably grieving for every single second of those 10 long, sad years that this dog was gone. 10 years later, it came back. This is amazing, man.
That's
so
crazy.
But anyways, I just wanted to put that out there because I did do a little bit of Googling and I didn't want it to go to waste.
Bullshit.
Well, okay, that's fine. The second point, though, that Parrish brought up that I did really like, pet peeves, like people telling you a story that's true and you believe it, and I've fallen victim to it a ton of times until somewhat recently, the past few years, where I don't believe anything anymore because it's happened to me too many times. But yeah, like Homeward Bound being based on a true story or whatever.
Ish.
Yeah, ish. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. Ish. Anyone else? I'm sure you guys have been told things before that were just
the original
far
story
from
was
true.
probably they moved a block away and they found their way to the new house.
That's true. I mean, some pets are pretty
Yeah.
stupid, so that would be miraculous for some of them. But yeah,
Well, I'll say one of the things that I hate that I don't think I've ever met anybody who shares this with me, but I think I get really annoyed by people who drink milk through a straw. It just bugs the crap out of me. It really does. It's like a thick. Now I'm good with like milkshakes because it's a cold beverage. You can't really drink that out of a cup, but like milk should be sipped or like drank from a carton. It doesn't belong going through a straw
Or a
It's
bowl
always
after you've eaten cereal.
yeah, that works
That's the best
too,
milk.
dude. Milk through a straw, gross. I hate it.
yeah, that's pretty bad. Who would drink milk through a straw? I don't understand why you'd even do that.
Yeah.
You know what
Grade
my
school hipster. Some
What a-
hipster that looks like Parrish that wears a tie and has that goofy looking stupid mustache that curls up. Those are the type of people that drink milk through straws.
well,
Yeah.
okay. Now
It's
I
a
will
betrayal to your people, sir.
I will say, in the defense of people that do have very fancy facial hair, like mustaches that are really long or whatever, that if they're out somewhere and they're trying to keep clean, because I know drinking with a long mustache can be kind of a mess sometimes, and if I have like a suit on or something, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea just so I don't look like a slob. But that being said, go ahead, Parrish. Go ahead.
You also wouldn't
I'll
drink
just-
milk in public.
No.
I would, yes. Okay, going off of what Chaz said, I would retort with that, Chris, saying no self-respecting man should be drinking milk in public. Period. Drink it in your cereal, put it in your coffee. No man. Okay, so like no self-respecting man should ever be in public, in my opinion, and be drinking milk. Period. I can't think of one instance unless maybe you're drinking a white Russian.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's the only thing I could think of, something like that. But yeah. Okay. One of my biggest pet peeves, and this is something that really bothers me, are people that pronounce words completely incorrectly. One of the worst ones, nuclear. When people say nuclear,
Nuclear.
Oh man. And it's not just like this isn't just like people from Appalachia that haven't gone to school either. No offense to people that haven't gone to school from Appalachia, but I've met plenty of educated people that do similar things, pronounce similar words wrong. Another one, espresso or
There's no X in it. There's no
no,
X in that word.
not at all.
Espresso.
Yep. How about February? Can't stand February. It's February.
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 I'm probably,
Fuck you, it's
I've probably
February.
been guilty.
Yeah,
I'm
okay, so
probably
February.
you, Chaz, are one of my pet peeves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next
He made
week,
it.
Well,
Chaz
I'm
will
going
be
to
apologize.
I'm going to apologize to our viewers for Chris ahead of time. I'm going to apologize to the entire Midwest because those of you that say "warsh," he hates. All
Oh
of
no,
you.
see that's a little bit different though because that's like a dialect thing, like a local kind of area thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about random
Michigan,
people.
Indiana, Ohio.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Illinois.
A lot of people. And I'm from the Midwest. I had to teach myself not to call soda pop, put it that way, because when I first moved down from Chicago, everything was pop, and that's just how it was, and I got made fun of. So, I get that. But nuclear, there's no
excuse for
it's
that.
Nuclear. It's not how it's spelled. It doesn't even work.
You want to send me into a nuclear mood? Be on your cell phone at the checkout counter.
Oh,
Right.
that bothers me.
Having been in retail for 20 years, somebody comes up to the counter on their cell phone and they don't set it down to address the clerk and get out in a timely manner and be respectful. I would literally lose my mind.
Yeah.
Like if I'm the next guy in line and I see this person on their phone and the clerk's there and he's just like he's trying to whisper and be polite while they're on the phone and all that, I will be the guy behind them screaming at them.
Mm.
Yeah,
Well,
that's me.
it's so disrespectful is the thing. Like,
Everyone, to all parties involved.
I get if you're like running into a gas station to just give the dude $5 to put on a pump or something like that. But if you're standing in line like grocery shopping and you have to actually interact with the cashier for a while, it's such a dick move. And then the worst thing is when they're like on the phone talking and the cashier will ask them something like, "Oh, did you know that this is buy two get one free," or something like that, and they'll be talking. "Oh, hey, what'd you say? Hey, what was that? Hold on a second. Wait, hold on a second.
Hold on.
Hold on a second. Not you. Hold on a second. No, hold on. What was that? Oh, I can't stand that. That's
And these
It makes me cringe, dude. It gets under my skin.
yeah.
Well, these days you can even take that can even get bumped up, like kicked up a notch further with everybody, talking on their Bluetooth headset. So like some guy comes over, he's talking to himself, and you're like, "Oh, dude, this dude's like some freaking what was the M. Night Shyamalan thing? This guy's like Split, right? He's talking to like his other personality or something, and then he turns around, and he's got that little tiny light in his ear, like, oh, okay, like cussing out his girlfriend or something, and then you're like, "What is wrong?" We're like, "Is this guy? You coming at me, bro?" And he's like, "Oh, no, it's, yeah, my."
That's terrible.
That'd be even worse, wouldn't it?
So
Because at least when they're like this, like,
yeah, right. No, and it happens sometimes. You can't even tell. It's so annoying. Another
It really
thing I
is.
can't, that's a real pet peeve, and I just thought about this because I used to work with a guy that did this, is people with really obnoxious fake laughter where you know that it's not how they really laugh, but they're just like faking it.
Mhm.
It's cringy as hell. Just
Yeah,
cringy.
I was gonna say that's more like a cringy thing than an annoying thing. That's like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
everything.
Well,
it's everything,
my-
but cringy for sure.
My biggest cringe moment. You guys may or may not recall. I used to run an auto repair facility,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and
Yeah, you helped me out a bunch while you were doing that, and I miss you, just so you know.
I miss it too. But that's an entire episode. But I had a guy that had his car towed in because it wouldn't shift out of park.
Okay.
He didn't want to pay for the repair. Said he was going to come get his vehicle. It's like an '06 four-wheel drive Lincoln Navigator. Now keep in mind, this is probably 10 years ago. So at the time, it was a 4-year-old vehicle. So it was still worth about 25, 30 grand.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it was one of the higher end Navigators. You know, it had the dual fold down DVD players and a sunroof. It was
yeah, it was 10 years ago that was the jam.
I mean, it was a nice vehicle. That's what I'm saying.
That's how you
know it had the big, like 8.5-inch display with navigation, touchscreen, all that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice vehicle, but didn't want to pay for the repair. It was like, okay, man, well, come get it. Well, he showed up after hours. Now, keep in mind, we close at 7. So I'm closing up, I'm having a few beverages with some of my employees after hours.
Oh.
Because, well...
risque.
Well,
yeah.
Long story short, my particular... Yes, my employer frowned upon this. I have to say that. But my employees were what every manager and above called the black sheep. Nobody wanted them. Okay. And because everybody was, disrespectful, they were loud mouths, they were this, they were that.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, dude, every one of them would have stayed till midnight or after to do whatever I asked them to do, just because I respected them. That was it.
That was a long way.
And anyway, so it's like 7:30, 7:45. We're actually finishing cars. We finished the vehicle. We started having a few drinks, and the guy shows up to get his truck. Okay. But he showed up with a 2-wheel vehicle carrier. It's a 4-wheel drive truck. It's a 4-wheel drive Lincoln Navigator.
That doesn't work.
Well, you've got one guy trying to pick this up with a 2x4 because they can't drag it onto the trailer. So one guy is between the Navigator and the truck, holding a 2-wheel trailer, holding it with his hands in the air on the ground so that the rope that they have tied between the bumper and the truck can drag this truck onto the 2-wheel trailer.
What?
Okay. It's 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
They're pulling it. The tires are smoking. The Navigator's not moving. He's got it hooked up to this big F-250, whatever. Car's not moving. It will not move. It's 4-wheel drive. Legitimately. We're sitting there. We're all kind of like, we closed all the doors and we're watching through the glass and the doors like, this can't be fucking happening. We all have another drink. We're watching this. Like, really? I stop. I'm like, hold it. I can't do this. I open the door. I go out. I'm like, guys, you can't do this. Okay. This is a 4-wheel drive vehicle. You cannot do this. You're going to break something. You're going to damage the vehicle.
Your transmission will not let you do that.
Yeah.
Well, they were Hispanic, so all you hear is I'm like, no, pull bad.
Right.
It's okay. All right, man. All right. Like 2 minutes later, you hear.
Yep. There it goes.
And then the one guy that's holding the trailer screaming as you could hear the rear axle explode. Gear oil is dripping on the ground now from the rear pump. And he drags the car up onto the thing.
Jeez, man.
Oh my God. We're all like hysterically trying to hold in our laughter. And it was hysterical. And then they drug it Just they finally got it on. They hooked it to the truck, and then they drug it down the road.
Hey,
Well,
at least it wasn't a lease.
It's like,
yeah, I don't know, man. Would it be worse if it was? What would be worse in that situation if he was leasing or if he owned it? Like, I don't
So, to be honest, I don't know jack
you
about
understand the
leasing.
lease?
I know I don't, but to me it seems like
I know enough. to
you're
get in
kind of
trouble.
on the hook. I know, yeah, I know a little bit. Like I know you can't go over a certain number of miles and things like that, but if you
Yes.
if you actively,
car.
willingly, consciously destroy the transmission of a car doing something stupid,
Yeah.
a lease, I'm assuming that's a bad thing.
Yes and no.
I feel like,
Yes and no.
Okay.
Okay. Do you guys understand how a lease works at all?
I mean, yeah, a little
legitimately,
bit.
just so I know where I'm starting and I can explain
Well,
it.
like you don't own the car. You don't own the car. You are essentially renting the car from the people and you're renting the car from the dealership. You have an agreed upon time that you are holding the car and they take care of the repairs and whatnot that's covered or whatever. And then at the end of your lease time, you either re-up or you give it back.
No.
That's okay. So explain it, Chaz. How
Long,
enlighten us.
long story short, you're renting the car.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Not really.
How am I wrong, Chaz? You're just trying to naysay.
I will stab you in the throat, sir.
You have a long reach, buddy.
Basically, with a lease, you pay for the depreciation of it. So you're going to get a new car. Okay, let's say it's a 2021 Honda Civic. Okay, let's say that's what it is.
Yeah.
Let's say the sale price is $28,000.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's say the residual value is $18,000. You've got a lease for 2 years.
Okay.
You're going to pay the interest for 2 years. You're going to pay the sales tax for the sale of the car,
Mm-hmm.
but that's it. You're going to get the maintenance. You're going to get the 24 months free maintenance that's going to come with the vehicle. You're not going to have to pay for any major repairs or anything like that. You're probably going to have to pay for oil changes.
Okay, so what about this guy's situation? Just say he was leasing this Navigator that's four-wheel drive, and he's trying to, for whatever reason, jack it up like he was doing with, like an idiot.
Then he should accidentally drop it into a river. Is what he should do.
And just say that's what happened. But let's say he got caught like doing that. He broke it. They know it was him. What are the consequences?
Well, basically, if he's got if he has the insurance that he's supposed to, he should have gap insurance on the vehicle, which will cover totalization of the car, and anything there, most major repairs thereafter. Because with a lease, you have to have a higher grade insurance than you do if you had if you were purchasing a car.
Okay.
Basically, like with a lease, your insurance has to go up to like $300,000.
Oh.
With most leases, I'm not saying that's all cases, but with most leases, it has to go up to like $300,000.
Okay.
Rather than most cases, when you just finance a car, it goes to 100. But the deal with leases is most people can't afford to pay off a car in the 4.5 to 5 years. And the reason I say that is 4.5 to 5 years, if you pay it off within that time, that's the only time that you own the vehicle that you aren't upside down. You have to do that, finance it for 5 years. You're going to have much higher payments. And then most people, after 3 to 4 years, are going to trade the car in anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, what's the point if you're going to trade it in anyway? If you're leasing it and you don't drive over a certain amount of miles, just lease the damn thing. Because if you're
Right.
leasing it, you're only paying the depreciation value of the car and going from there. I mean, it's
Yeah, see, I guess I have a different mentality when it comes to things like that because this is just me, but I don't see you building any equity that way. And even though I know cars depreciate, whatever, after a while, your car is going to be paid off. You know, if you're financing it
Right.
for 5-6 years, whatever the thing is. So
if you plan on keeping it.
correct,
Right.
correct.
That's
But-
it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but exactly. But I just don't understand. Like for me, it doesn't make sense. Leasing would never make sense, just because I'd rather have equity in something. And you know, I don't trade in cars every 3-4 years. I mean, should I've had my car for 10 years or something now? But
Yeah,
most
it's all
leases-
about what your plan is, really. I
Exactly.
think, you know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
People's plans change.
yeah,
You know,
and if it's one of these, that if you want to have like, you know, I always thought of leasing. The only time I ever thought of leasing as a real viable option was if we started making enough money to have a status car. So a status car being like a Mercedes, a Lexus, you know what I mean, a Beamer, something like that. Because the whole point of a status car is that you've got the newest and hottest and sexiest.
it's fresh.
You know, there's not. Right, it's fresh to death,
Yeah.
and you know, there's not. That's why they depreciate so bad.
I'll be right back,
I mean,
guys. Sorry.
Yep.
okay, because they're complete crap cars. I mean, or not that they're crap cars. They're very expensive to maintain.
Right.
So why pay for the maintenance for 10 years when really the car is only a status car for like 2 or 3 years?
I
you know,
completely
then it
get
makes
that.
sense.
If I were working on Wall Street or something like that, I mean, obviously
Right.
the company would probably buy me a car then, but just say they didn't. Say I was running my own firm. I would want a status car for sure. Of course, I'd probably just buy it and then trade it in and, you know, buy the next one or whatever. Because I'd be making loads of cash at
Right.
that point. But I guess I kind of get it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm still
Yeah.
questioning, though, what would happen, and maybe this is something that Chaz can only answer, but what would happen to those guys? Like, do they have insurance where if you break something, doing something stupid, like a car, like a lease, doing something stupid, insurance, do they have an insurance that's going to cover that? I don't know of that.
Yeah.
So, like, I wonder what would happen.
I mean, I feel like they would get. I feel like they would just be in it for it. You know what I mean? Because really, you know, I always think of insurance. It's a company. They're trying to maximize their profits and they're trying to pay out as little as possible. And so there's going to be. I don't care what insurance you have. If they're just like, don't worry about it, we'll cover it. They're going to go
Right.
broke. They're
Yeah.
not going to be an insurance company for long.
And if they're going to
So,
cover stupidity, you're going to be paying a premium for that policy to where
Right.
you've more
you know-
than paid for your mistake by the time you make the mistake, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's true. So what are you gonna do? But
Yeah.
hey, you know, really, I don't know. Let me see. I wanted to bring this up when Chaz was here, but he can just jump right back in when he gets here.
Ooh, got it. Dude, look at that. That was a mosquito that just landed on my monitor, and it is now a dead
Strong
mosquito.
work.
Heck yeah.
Strong work, Chris. Good for you, Mr.
Thank you.
Miyagi over here,
Oh, man.
Yo.
the mosquito slayer with his bare fingers. You saw it.
It just
You saw
flew right in front of my monitor, and wham, got it. Got it.
Strong work, Chris.
Thank you.
And Chaz is back, so now it's
Sorry.
great. So Chaz, I think we solved the buy versus lease thing. You suck, leasing sucks, and we've decided that's
Plain and
period.
simple. Yep.
So
Negative.
thanks for weighing in.
Sorry.
No, but seriously, the enough with this trivial crap, guys. Let's talk about these delicious, glorious beards we're rocking. I know
Yeah,
that
time to
people
get
around the world
serious.
are watching this and thinking, how do I get that? Well, folks, you can't get this. This takes hours and hours of grooming.
I want to see if I can
Um,
get that profile shot again. Let's.
It's there, bro. Look at that square, folks. Look at that.
Look at
Good
that.
Lord.
Yeah, and I did that myself, surprisingly enough. I did a good job this time. Yep.
You know, facial hair is
I'm
one of those
jealous.
things that you don't just wake up like this one day, you know, looking this good with the facial hair. So I wanted to take a second, guys, if y'all can, what's your, you know, what's your routine? What's your kind of regimen for your face and facial hair?
You know, I wish that you would have mentioned this before the show so I could have been prepared and had some. Let me see. I might have something here. Oh, hold on a second. Dropped one thing. Oh, well, look at this. I just so happen to have a bunch of stuff ready. Wow. Boy,
What?
what a
What are the chances?
coincidence.
What are the Chris just happens to enjoy quaffing his beard whilst podcasting.
Yeah, you
I'm
got to
sorry,
get
I'm
ready for the
coughing.
show. You got to get ready for the show. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
honestly, when it comes to the beard, I'm pretty simple. See, I was born with just beautiful genetics when it comes to the beard. So I have,
And I'm jealous.
yeah,
I am
so
it's fact.
jealous.
German, I have Swedish, you know, like Viking blood, stuff like that. So I just got that thick beard. Not so much with the hair. I wish I had thicker hair, but the beard, I got that. So it's pretty easy for me. Really, all I do, I have a little bit of beard oil. This is the stuff I've been using recently. It's just this. What's the brand of this? I found it at the mall. Oh gosh, I don't really read it. But anyways, it's just this little thing. I think it's like the Art of Shaving. It was a store at the mall that I got it
yeah.
from.
Mhm.
It
Cool
was
store.
yeah, it was pricey, but it's lasted for, I mean, well over a year now. I think it was like 30 bucks or
wow.
something, which I thought was pricey, but it's lasted a long time. And granted, I only really use it when I'm going to be going out or when I want to look good, when I'm going into work, things like that. So it's not like every time I take a shower or something, but you don't need to use much and it works really good. But all I do, honestly, shower, you know, I do the normal routine, just shampoo, a little bit of conditioner in my beard. The secret, though, is once you get out. And now, guys, if you don't have a blow dryer, you need a blow dryer if you want a big beard. Just gonna put that out there. I didn't use one for the longest time until someone told me about
Yep.
it, and now I do, and it's really easy. You get out, and for me, this is all I do. A little bit of beard oil, just kind of massage it in, just lightly. Take a comb if you need. I use a brush for this part. Brush it up, out. Look like just a homeless, raggedy, you know, just been out coming off of a fishing vessel after 3 months or something, sailor with your beard all over the place. And then you can take a comb, blow dryer, put it on like medium heat, and just slowly brush it down. Just let it even itself out. If you have any waves or whatever, just use the comb, slightly adjust it. Be nice with it. You can talk to it if you need to. Just, yeah, there you go, beard. Just like that. Just like that. That's all I do. Nice and easy. Another thing that I
Nice.
found that makes it look really good. A lot of people don't pay attention to the edges, but you got to get the edges back here. A lot of people let that go. The secret really, just kind of brush this back. Use a little electric trimmer, just kind of get that edge, but follow it all the way down your jawline. Just straight all the way down, and it gives you that nice edge like that. And if you're the type of person that wants to trim your own beard, like cut it, you need to get a good trimmer, like the ones that they use at the salon or something. I think I have the Osterizer or whatever. Not super expensive, but just get a good one because you need something that's going to cut hair. So, how about
Good
you,
deal,
Parrish?
man.
Yeah, what do you use?
Well, I start up I start off with I do the same thing with Chris in if I haven't taken a shower, if it's not right out of the shower, I'll like hit my face with water and I'll get the beard good and watery and just kind of real rough with a towel and then I'll blow dry it, blow dry it while brushing it out. And I have a special beard comb that I use. This is, if you can see
Oh,
that.
wow, that's real special. Is that
This is
leather?
Hunter
it's called-
Jack.
Wow.
Yeah, Hunter Jack by the old barber. By the old barber company. I believe it's a teakwood beard comb.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
Man, I just
fancy,
have one of
right?
those cheap black, whatever, $1, $2 combs.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Dude, this is It's really nice. I don't ever use the larger part.
Mm-hmm.
I use the finer one, and my facial hair is really curly. So what I'll do is I'll be brushing it out with the fine side of this comb while I'm blow drying down, and that
Mm-hmm.
helps to kind of straighten it out so it's not so curly and short and funky. So yeah,
So
my
really
Hunter Jack
quick,
beard
let me put this out there too, just to add on something I have noticed because sometimes I get like this obnoxious kind of curl under, and you don't get that nice edge. I found a little
Yep.
trick online for that, and it's really easy. You just take your comb and with the blow dryer, let's see if I can do this in the camera right. So you take your blow dryer and you kind of curl outwards and then pull down, and it just kind of gives it a little bit of outwardness, and then you can
Yeah.
kind of just go straight, and after you do that it just goes straight and you don't have these weird inward curling things that makes it look bad. I know mine's a little bit rough in the front. I
Nice.
was kind of messing around,
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
yeah.
So
Hold on.
usually, hey, I'm not done yet.
Well,
You
I'll
thought
start
that that
out
was the
then.
only thing I used? We'll get to you, drunkie. Pour yourself some more Captain Morgan.
I just did.
Jeez. I just did it. It's already gone. So one thing, I have black hair.
Mm.
And so if I get flakes, which I do get like dry scalp and stuff, if
Oh
I get
yeah.
flakes, it really shows up big time for me. Rather than our more Aryan looking brothers like Chris. So I've been running lately. I got this on sale at CVS, but it's Head and Shoulders pomade, and
Mm-hmm.
it gives you a nice medium hold. It's like a yeah, and it helps to control flakes. So I use that up top. But then for my beard, what I've been using lately is this. It's Billy Jealousy,
Okay.
uh, Devil's Delight, and so it's just a beard oil. I think I got it on sale somewhere. It's pretty good, but I think beard oil probably one is roughly as good as another. You just gotta like how it smells because it's right there below your nose. But the cool thing about beard oil is it doesn't really give you hold, but it gives you some nice shine. So you comb that through, and then
Mm-hmm.
if you'll notice this right here, I do have a natural, somewhat of a uh,
Douchebaggy look.
a natural curl to my mustache, but I have to help it out, otherwise it's not going to be like good. So really, I just do this spiked up look by
Oh,
axe. I
the
just do
axe.
a teeny tiny little bit dab on my finger, and I'll go like that, and just whoop whoop whoop, gives me a nice hold. Brush it all out, and I'm ready.
Nice.
Chaz, what do you do, buddy?
I use Zest.
Mm.
Zest rocks, dude. You talking about the soap?
Uh-huh.
For
You use soap
for
on
your
your
body
beards?
though.
Nah, period. I don't
Oh,
have any hair.
okay. What about the
That's what
facial hair? You do
Yeah,
anything?
do to
that's
your
it.
beard.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it. So like legitimately, this is a learning experience for me. I wash my face and then it doesn't do what I want, so I cut it off.
So you just go short enough to where you don't have to do anything with it.
Dude, 3-4 weeks ago, I could have done this right here with my beard and it
Yeah.
had banged out the bottom. I I couldn't get it to do anything, so I
Yeah.
cut it off.
Hey, but that is an option
So
as
hold
well.
on. So now I'm actually gonna listen to you retards and use this stuff and see what happens.
There you go.
So it's gonna be like an ongoing science experiment. What happens with Chaz's beard from this point forward?
Okay.
It's going
We'll,
to suck for another fucking month.
we'll take it that way then. I think next time what we should do is maybe I'll throw out some tips for any of the dudes that have longer hair or even a little bit shorter hair. I got some tips for that
Yeah.
too. But,
I feel bad because I actually do have a couple cans of beard wax that I used one time. I used it one time, and it was absolutely horrible. I couldn't stand the smell. I couldn't stand it.
And that's a good point, because a lot of the time people get turned off to using stuff like that because it does have a bad smell, but there's so much stuff out there. So look online too, because you'll see a lot of people talking about things, and some people have take offense to certain odors or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff. Well, maybe we'll revisit this next episode or in the next few. But
Probably should.
So Parrish, the other day you were talking about having some stories from a certain job of yours, and I just thought it would be a great idea if you happen to have something off the top of your head to throw out there as a way to kind of close the show, because you got some pretty funny experiences.
I worked about 7 years in the emergency medical services for a 911 primary 911 service, and boy, let me first just say this, because I know that you guys don't get the credit you deserve. I know that police and firemen are usually kind of the heroes, but thank you for your service, because you guys are out there in the muck. You're out there fighting, so saving lives. So thank you. Yeah, legitimately. Well, EMS guys appreciate that. I think the best thing,
legitimately,
do.
We're not running for office here, so you know it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like seriously, man. You're not kissing babies. We appreciate,
and not just because you're a friend of ours either. This is to everyone that's done that, and
we'd have other
first responder as well
for that.
But
well, on behalf of the EMS community, I think that I can speak for just about everyone when I say the best thing that you can do to show your appreciation for EMS professionals is to not call them ambulance drivers. I think they will appreciate it.
Okay.
Call them whatever. Call them dickheads, whatever. Just don't call them ambulance drivers.
I'm sure the second best thing you could do is probably not overdose on fentanyl. That would probably help too. Yeah.
That'll really ruin their day, especially at like 3 a.m. So, I did acquire many stories throughout EMS, and I had so many. I actually kept a journal of them. Hang on, let me actually
get the journal. Get the journal.
1 second.
Let's see.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so am I.
I've got a bunch of friends that used to do EMS. So just really, I just threw up in my mouth right now.
I'm so packed in here. So we all good?
Son of a bitch!
That was pretty classic. I gotta say, that was good.
What we have. Everybody okay? We still
Well, I'm with you. I'm ready. I'm eager and waiting, especially after what I just saw.
This is my journal from EMS. And so let's say where do we want to go with this? We have we have a great I have a great story here. This is this was a fun one. I haven't read this in years. I think, yeah, okay. So this entry I called the paint in the pop.
Okay.
Being that I
okay,
the paint in the pop.
Let's hear it.
Being that I work in a largely Being that I worked in a largely rural mountainous region of the U.S., I've grown a healthy disdain for many of the small back roads that twist, turn, and switch back and forth through the mountains, hills, and hollers. Yes, the hollows are pronounced hollers.
Holler.
People will correct you on that.
Okay.
If you are prone to motion sickness, then you'll particularly want to avoid any street whose name ends with a ridge or branch, or if the word fork appears in the name at all. I find that these words denote a treacherous drive ahead for the most part. The branches, forks, and ridges uh, seem to not only contain the most ridiculous roads, but some of the most ridiculous characters as well. Hilljacks, they call them around there. I had a run in with just that type of person late one night whilst working with Don Juan. That's not his real name, that's just what I call him. Don Juan isn't his real name, of course, and in case the pseudonym I chose for him isn't obvious enough, I'll give you a quick explanation. This guy is intelligent, funny, and has a real knack and a passion for photography. That said, he isn't exactly Brad Pitt, but has somehow managed to lure over half the women in the county into his bed.
Mm.
He's been known to conjugally visit more than one coworker's wife or significant other on more than one occasion. Seriously.
Jesus Christ.
He's a
And
good
it's not
dude.
just talk. Yeah. I've been present during a few conversations he's had with people in the station that went a lot like this. You know that ER nurse, blankety blank? Don says, "Oh wait, stand by. You mean this one?" And he'll have a photo of the person in question posed in a Playboy centerfold position wearing the outfit that she was born in.
Oh
On it
my
right there on
God.
this one? Like that?
What a dude.
True story. Yeah, so he's a legit player. That doesn't tie into the story at all. It's just a
Well
little
played,
morsel I'm adding, so you can get a better sense of the colorful characters I work with. Plus, it's my story, and I can go off on tangents if I want. So sue me.
I will.
Anyway, Don Juan and I are at the station when the tones drop. Station 1, Squad 11, blah, 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 address, possible poisoning.
Ooh.
Interesting. So when we mark en route, dispatch explains the emergency a bit further. He tells us a female has ingested some wet paint that fell into her Coca-Cola glass.
Ooh.
Right there, I surmise that we are not dealing with any Mensa candidates. And in fact, we're probably going to be getting involved with a family whose tree doesn't fork, if you know what I mean. So sometimes I really hated being right, and I was right a lot about things like that. So once we arrive at our patient's house, her, I don't know, brother, boyfriend, husband, some combination of those, meets us at the
Uncle
door.
Dad?
We follow him inside the house with our gear, and my nasal palate is seized by the unmistakable ammonia smell of cat piss.
Mm.
So we turn a corner and we see our So we turn a corner and we see our patient lying in bed in her nightgown, on the phone with her mother. Yep, this patient is dying of paint poisoning for sure, because she's on the phone with her mother. After Don Juan gets her to finally hang up the phone after about 3 minutes, Chaz, you know, your phone pet peeve, there we go. She tells us that she was drinking a Coke and it had paint in it, so now she wants to go to the hospital. The next part of the conversation went like this. Well, how do you know there was paint in the cup? Well, because I seen the blue paint in the cup. Was it in the cup before you put your pop in it? Well, no, but I didn't pour it. My brother did. I still allow the possibility that they could be incestual. So didn't it didn't taste funny? No. Well, don't you think it would taste funny if you drank paint? I don't know. I never drank paint.
Hey, well, that's a valid point.
Apparently you have.
I don't know. That's a valid point.
Valid point.
Oh.
But actually, you're surprising to me
Touche.
that it's never tasted at least paint chips.
Right.
So why would you
Science?
drink it if you saw paint in the cup? Well, because I didn't see it when I was drinking it. I saw some blue paint on the inside of the cup after I drank it. Well, by now I'm getting really pissed. No pun intended. And because I'm having to carry our first out bag, which is like our medical bag, that weighs approximately 40 pounds this whole time, and I can't set it down because of and this is where the pun wasn't intended, the cat piss and or hair covering the floor and every surface in the house. So I can't even put my bag down because once I pick it up, we're going to be carrying the smell of cat piss
Yeah,
with
that's
us in our truck.
disgusting. And
for the
as
rest
an aside, that is one of the most disgusting things ever when you walk into a house and you smell
Yeah.
that. Especially, some people have cats and they have a litter box and they might not empty it enough or whatever. That's one thing. But when it's literally soaked into the furniture and the carpet and just disgusting. Anyways, please continue.
So, in hindsight, I should have solved this mystery much sooner, but I was distracted by either the bag slung on my shoulder acting as a whole arm tourniquet or the screaming death of more of my brain cells with each inhale of ammonia that seemed to seep from the very walls. So we were stumped about this patient's story, and I was on the verge of lending her some credibility when I somehow broke through with a moment of clarity. Ma'am, did you have ice in your cup? Well, yeah. So I grabbed the blue painted cup, wrapping my hand around it, and I hold the chilled plastic culprit of this whole situation for 20 seconds or so. Then I exchange the cup into my other hand and magically revealing that everywhere my hand had made contact with the cup, the blue coloring had turned back to white. Having solved the mystery, Don Juan quickly catches on, and we explain to this unfortunate product of human inbreeding that her cup is one that changes color from white to blue when it gets cold. But she'll hear none of it. She thinks we're lying to her for some reason, so Don takes the now
It continues.
Don takes the now white lukewarm cup and presses it against the window AC unit that's blasting cold air into the room. I quietly pray that he doesn't press too hard against the teetering appliance and send it tumbling out the window. We're so close to being done with these mutants, and I don't feel like reinstalling a window.
Hail!
Fucking mutants. So thankfully, it stays put. She finally gets it. We're done. Bing, bang, boom. Sign this refusal form, and then she says, well, I am kind of feeling a little sick to my stomach. I tell her I tell her she only gets one complaint per 911 call, and she already used it, so just sleep it off. With that, we're gone like Americans like America's common sense, out the door and into the blessed, fresh, pure country midnight air. Will we be back? Without a doubt. But hopefully, she'll wait till after 7 a.m. when I'll be on my way home, and she'll be someone else's problem. But even if not, well, I've got an N95 mask, and I know how to use it. Saving lives, people. This is what we do.
Wow.
I love you, homie.
Yeah, that's man.
I
Man.
couldn't have done that. There is
Can't make
no
that up.
way, absolutely no way I could have done what you just did or what you described there. There is absolutely no way. No
Hey,
way
I mean,
possible.
It
I'm
was
sorry, ma'am. Please
never
continue
so much-
fucking your family. Fuck your brother. Go ahead. Let's see what
Hey,
happens.
In
Let's see if an arm grows out of their forehead.
in her defense, I was dumbfounded the first time I ever saw a color changing cup when I was 3. So maybe it was the same for her. But
yeah.
anyways,
I don't think I mentioned her age, but she was definitely in her 20s at least.
Yeah, I could guess. Yeah. So I think we should make that a segment that we do more often because by the size of that book,
Parrish.
yeah, you have enough stories that we could probably do a continuation, a little series
Quite
of
a
this.
bit. Quite a bit.
Alright.
Dude, I respect the hell out of you. Don't get me wrong. I did before you read this story. I legitimately I did. I knew you were an EMS guy and all that. But I respect what you did. But I also have other guys that I know that are friends of mine that are EMS like I don't want to mention his real name, but Rogue, dude, I fucking love you. And Parrish, I love you too, but you guys, thank you for everything that you do, everything that you have done. I know people salute the soldiers and police officers and firefighters and stuff like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are the guys that get no respect whatsoever. So, sir, from the bottom of my heart and with everything that I have, I thank you and everyone that follows in your footsteps. I thank you. Thank you, sir.
Well,
Yep,
I
share those
appreciate that.
sentiments.
America appreciates that, guys. We're all just, trying to slog through this mess as efficiently as we can and make a positive difference in people's lives. So, and I think we made a positive difference tonight, boys. What do y'all
I think so too. I feel good
Well,
about this. I can almost
Yeah.
I can almost feel the impact that this show is going to have on the world for the better.
For the better, for sure.
At least
So-
a couple people.
In
For
closing,
both of you that are watching, I thank you.
we thank you. Thanks, Mom. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't let my mom watch this.
No.
But in
Please don't.
closing,
I would be embarrassed.
let's always remember the famous quote from John F. Kennedy: "Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your Omega dudes." That
That's
means
right.
like and subscribe.
Good
Omega
one.
dudes. Omega dudes out.